back to Inside the USFL, a podcast giving you an inside look at the USFL from someone on the inside. To my right, center or offensive lineman for the Birmingham Stallions, Jordan McCray. How is it going? Just finished the regular season. You guys are the overall number one seed heading into the playoffs.
It's going pretty good. Just enjoying this off day, getting ready for what's going to be a great game versus New Orleans, and studying a little film, relaxing with the guys, and just taking advantage of every moment we have.
Yeah, it's unique in that, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago when you played New Orleans, but third time you guys are playing them this season. So when you are going into a week where obviously it's a bigger week, you're still trying to go 1-0, but I mean, the stakes are higher. How much are you looking at your past games against New Orleans versus like how other teams have played New Orleans?
We're looking a lot into how we played them in the past and the mistakes that we made in those games and how we can capitalize on them going into the next game this coming weekend, and also just relatively closer games like what they've done more recently in the past, and see if they've changed any of their schemes or anything that they're doing differently from those games to our games. But seeing how we can, be more efficient offensively than those first two games is really what we're focusing on. So we'll look at a lot of the first two games also.
And I think this past week, we should say, week 10, final week of the season, you guys did bounce back from your loss. You beat Tampa Bay, which is, they're not a playoff team, but they're a very, very good football team. Obviously, their defensive line gave you fits the first time you played them. You guys definitely handled them better the second time around. I don't even remember. Oh, the offense was definitely more efficient this time, I would say. And it was interesting because, Jamar got turf in his eye. So he went to the sideline and just stayed there, whether it's just, Alex came in, was playing well. Obviously, he hasn't had as many snaps as he hoped he would get this season.
Yeah.
How much is Alex's legs, his ability to scramble and extend plays, how much do you think that really jump-started the offense this week?
It definitely did. Alex has a little bit more dimension when it comes to running the ball, and I think that helped us out a lot on the offense, just moving the pocket a little bit and just with some of the zone read stuff. But both of them are equally effective at both things. One does one thing better, one does the other better, and we know that as long as we have either one of those guys in the game, that we have a chance to win. So that just makes our job a little bit easier, but also wants to make sure that we're doing our part to make sure that those guys can function well.
Coach Holt said before the game that his plan was to go into the depth a little bit, what little depth there is in the USFL, obviously, because of the roster size. He was going to play some lower tier guys, some second string guys to manage snaps going into the playoffs. So what was the strategy or just the word around the team going into the game? Like, was the plan to get Alex a lot more snaps? Was the plan to get some of these receivers some breaks? Or was it truly like coaches told you guys everything's the same, then, they were going to change things during the game?
Yeah, so when it comes to personnel and stuff like that, we really don't have that much of a input or idea of what's going on. So and with the limited roster, we knew guys were going to play. Whenever Alex is healthy to play, we want to give him some snaps too because he's deserving and been a great teammate and a good player also. So we knew he was going to play a little bit. As far as how much, didn't really know. And then when he came in and doing so well, and then just not wanting Jamar to get back out there and make sure that he's ready to go for this coming week, we just rolled with what we rolled with,
This is going to sound random, but does Alex sweat? Like, it was 120 degrees on the turf. It doesn't look, and he's running around everywhere. It doesn't look like he sweats. I don't get it.
I mean,
I was
now that
sweating.
you think, I never thought about it, but now that you think about it, he definitely does look like he's the only one playing in AC out there. So
Yeah.
probably does a little bit, but just very, very little.
I get he has the hair, but he takes his helmet off. That's dry. It looks perfect. Like, I don't know what's going on. Whatever.
I gotta ask him that tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, figure it out. Let me know. talking about the heat, though, it was, they measured the temperature, air temperature is 90 degrees, something
Mhm,
around there. On the turf, it was about 120.
mhm.
And, I've coached in leagues that play during the summer, same thing. I get it. How does that change what you guys are doing, and not just during the game, but in preparation? How much are you really like feeding fluids throughout the week? Really just trying to make sure you're not cramping up during the game.
Yeah, no, we're making sure that we're staying hydrated throughout the week. We got Gator lights, these little quick shots that's supposed to give you a lot of electrolytes. Been shoveling those down all week, and before the game, halftime, and after the game, make sure if guys that are heavy sweaters or big salt sweaters, making sure that they have IVs. So just trying to stay prepared as much as you can during the week, because if you do it Friday for a Saturday game, it's too late. You're probably gonna cramp up. It's not gonna be a good deal. So just trying to make sure you stay on top of it throughout the week. So Saturday comes and you can be in as good a shape as you can be.
Yeah, I mean, at some point the heat sort of just takes over, but
Mhm.
just watching, I don't remember the camera flashing to anybody with cramp issues. So it seems
Yeah,
like you
we
guys are
had a
doing a
couple
good
of
job.
guys on the line cramp, but just next man up mentality. Guys went in, got and we just kept moving the ball how we did, and it's a testament to those guys. And but for the most part, we were pretty okay.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do, only so much
Mm.
pickle juice you can drink
Yeah,
down on the sideline. I'm not sure if you guys got like the gallon jars of those. That's what we did.
yeah, we got those in the locker room and pickles and all that kind of stuff. So, guys, every preventative measure you can take, we make sure we take. But sometimes it's just not enough.
No, yeah, especially when it's 120. That's the cost of playing football in the summer.
Yeah,
Uh, the flip side is negative whatever in Lambeau during December and January, which also isn't good.
yeah,
That sucks too.
that's tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd rather be in the heat guy than in the freezing cold, to be quite honest.
Okay, I I don't know. That I mean, good for you. Yeah, that's why you're from Florida and I'm from Wisconsin. So
Yeah.
yeah. Obviously, the big takeaway from the game, and at least on the offensive line point of view, I think you guys blocked well, handled it, as good as you could have.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's talked about obviously the snap issues. You had some inconsistencies with your snaps,
Yeah.
and then fourth quarter, I believe, is when you made the switch over to right guard.
Yeah.
Can you take us through what's going on mentally? Is it something physically? What's the issues there?
It's just me not finishing through with my snap. I'm trying to make sure I get to blocks a little bit too fast, but I got to make sure that I take control of what I need to take control first, and that is getting the ball to the quarterback and then getting started. So just a little bit of lapse with that, and the heat gets hands sweaty and stuff like that. So I mean, there's no excuse. I got to do my job better. And then we made the change, and Cam is a great offensive lineman, great center, great guard as well. So both of us are interchangeable in those spots. So it's like, let's just make the move so we can make sure we get this victory and get on the next week with the W, heading in the right direction towards Canton.
Yeah, I mean, as a testament to both of you as football players in terms of you make the switch in game. You guys really didn't miss a beat. I mean, you
Mhm.
guys continue to play and blocked well. Mentally, then, you move over, you shift over to guard. Obviously, you played guard a lot throughout your career.
Mhm.
What is it that you're doing differently in terms of, formation, in terms of like steps? Like, what is it that you're doing differently when you have to make that slide over?
The only thing different I would say is just playing with playing in a little bit more space. The whole game that we were playing against mostly a 50 front, so a guy's right on my head to where a guy is essentially over the tackle now. So just being able to play in a little bit more space, taking the correct steps to do so. And I like to look at playing center for me at least as soon as the ball's out of my hand, I'm a guard again. So it's not that big of a difference for me. And me and Cam are both always, reading the defense, making sure that we're on the right page. So it's really just me doing it from the right guard position and him doing it from the center position as opposed to the vice versa beforehand. So in my opinion, it's not that big of a difference. Why? And for Cam, it isn't either. That's why it was such a seamless change.
And speaking of playing in space, I think it was the last drive or a couple drives, you guys really widened out your line splits.
Hmm.
And for running the ball, I would assume to create those natural lanes. But
Yeah.
Can you speak to that? Is that the reason was for that, or
Oh yeah, no,
why'd
that
you
was
guys widen out?
that was a part of the game plan. Just a little wrinkle we wanted to throw at them, see if they're going to still line up on us or line up, by the spacing, and got a good 13-yard gain out of it once, and then and really only ran it twice in the game. So two plays, we were good on one, threw the ball out on the next one. So it's something that we've been practicing a little bit, and then decided to use during that last drive.
So then obviously you're practicing this week. You're going up to Canton where the playoffs are on Thursday, game Saturday, going up there Thursday. Is the plan for you to just continue to do mental and physical reps, snapping the ball and seeing where you are once you're up there? Or is the plan you're going to be the center, or are you going to shift over to guard for the playoff game?
Oh no, the plan is for during the week, me and Cam get the same amount of reps at guard and at center, so that's probably what helps it out a little bit. But we're gonna keep things the same, and I'll make sure I get my snaps right, and Cam will do the same, and we'll wherever we end up is gonna be the same exact thing. So we're just making sure that we're ready for either or.
You've been doing equal snaps at center and guard until
Yeah, cause
now, or
me,
go?
yeah,
Okay,
no, like from the beginning of the season. So
okay.
because Cam is the next center. If something happens to me, I'm the next guard. If something happens to him, so and vice versa. So it's really been something that we've been doing in practice throughout the whole year.
Okay, that definitely works out then, and
Hmm.
obviously it proved to be
Yeah.
useful last game and worked out. Like I said, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC, you guys are playing the New Orleans Breakers for the third time this season. You're in Canton, Ohio, playoff game. Winner goes to the championship game the week after. It's going to be a big one. How are you guys feeling? How are you guys? Are you preparing any differently because of the travel schedule?
Not too much. The only thing different is the change in the practice time, and that's really just because of the heat. But we're going to be taking the same regular work week that we would be in any week going forward. Same preparation, just making sure that we were all on our P's and Q's so we could put out a good performance come Saturday.
Is there any difficulty because obviously you came to Birmingham, lived in a hotel, moved out to the house. Now you're going to Canton, going back to the hotel. Is there any difficulty with that in terms of living situations, or is it just it's only a couple
For us,
weeks?
it's not too bad because we have our apartments until the middle of July. So even after the championship game, we'll have time to come back, get our stuff together, and leave. But for
Okay.
the guys that stayed in the hotel, um, you have to be out of the hotel by Thursday. We're allowed our physical, or not physical, but like our equipment bag with all our pads, cleats, all that good stuff, and then one carry-on bag with all the stuff that we'll need for the 10 days while we're in Canton. And then they'll have a storage in the hotel for us when we get back. Guys will be given the hotel for 2 or 3 days once they get back, and then we'll be on our way after exit physicals and all that good stuff.
Is the plan in Canton or in Cleveland where you guys are you shutting down the hotel there essentially in the same way where you have the training room set up and stuff like that?
I would assume so. We haven't been given that much information on that yet, so I'm not really
Okay.
sure yet.
Sounds good. I mean, hopefully, and Cleveland's short drive from Canton. That shouldn't be too bad. Should
Yeah.
be a good game. Both of the games on Saturday. You guys are the second one, uh, which is good. Hopefully, it cools off at night a little bit. I think that
Yeah.
would be a good thing. Contra Distinguish on Reddit wants to know: do you think it's in the best interest of the USFL if going forward they focused on cities that are not used for NFL teams as opposed to sticking to the more traditional routes? Like if you go into each team, plays their own home games in their cities. Do you think it would be
Mhm.
better if they have, NFL cities, or do you think it would be better if it's more like Birmingham, where there's not the NFL team there?
I think you can make a case for both of them, honestly. Well, I know the city of Birmingham loves the Stallions. Everywhere we go, like when we have our offensive line dinners, when we're out in public, people tell us how excited they are about the USFL being here. So, being, I guess, the big fish in a small pond, for lack of a better term, is I think a good idea. But Seeing as we're not in the same season as the NFL, football in any city, as long as it's a good brand, which the USFL has been, I think it's a good idea. So you can make a case for both. I do like how Birmingham is, though. Like we're the only thing here, and people can really rally around us and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I think you saw that with the XFL a little bit too. Obviously, it's a different situation in St. Louis because they had a football team and it was taken away, and then the Battlehawks
yeah,
came in. But like that atmosphere was electric versus, again, completely different situation. But the LA market, it's tough to compete with LA. So,
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
so much going on. It's so much going on in LA.
yes, there
two
is.
sport,
But
two
yeah,
NFL teams, two basketball teams. Yeah, so it's
everything else, yeah,
yeah, everything else is tough. It's tough.
that would be tough. Um, this was something that popped into my mind because they were advertising the Maulers versus Panthers game as, the loser gets the first pick in every single round next year for the draft.
Hmm.
So does that mean, do you have multi-year deals with, like, is your contract with the Stallions for next year as well, or how does that work?
It's a 1 year deal with a team option.
Okay,
So if the team wants you back, then you'll be back.
okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't
so
realize that until a couple of days ago either.
that's good to know. I mean,
Yeah.
glad they let you know about it.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, is your so how looking back? Obviously, we played 10 weeks now. The regular season's done for the USFL. There's a big difference that you guys finished the regular season, which is different than the XFL AAF.
Yeah.
But how has the USFL, other than that, felt different at all from those other two startup football leagues?
I think the difference is maybe just a little bit more organization, but I think a lot of that plays into the part that every single team is in one area. When one team has a problem, it's not something that has to go around the country to get fixed. It's literally fixed in the hub, gets everything cleaned up, and then everybody's good to go. And so I'll say organization from the organization standpoint is just been a little bit better. But competition wise, I mean, a lot of these guys have played in both of those leagues and gotten better from those leagues, and then a lot of young talent has come in as well. So competition, I feel like is just as good as any other league. But I'll say the organization was what was a little bit different.
And I mean, to the USFL's credit, I think there's a good staff and everything, front office, everything in place. They've been doing a good job, but it's also learning from past mistakes, stuff like that. So it's good to see that each league is getting better and progressing forward more. Obviously, XFL had COVID issues. That's a
Right.
completely different thing that was out of their
Hmm.
control. But yeah, it's cool to see a league that is getting views, is getting eyes on it, competing when there's not NFL.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, all I want is football year round, and now we're getting it. So that's cool.
Exactly.
Um, so another unique thing about the USFL this year, and I just want to know if there's been any presence or talk about it. You guys did form a players union.
Hmm.
Obviously, there's going to be some players involved, some players not involved. In terms of for you, has that been like a presence there, or has it been pretty much players are playing and not worrying too much about that stuff yet?
Not worrying too much about that stuff yet because I mean, we're so new. It's not really a lot to worry about. Um, we're just
Mhm.
trying to make sure that the season gets finished, and we're well on track to that. And then all the other stuff we'll handle once the season is over and start to delve in that. But right now, a lot of guys are just focusing on playing and that being the main focus right now.
That makes sense. Toasters from Reddit wants to know if you have a favorite locker room or just overall team memory from this past season.
Um, oh, probably like one of the funny things that we've been doing on the team is something that I started after probably the second or third week is just uh calling ourselves. We're adding up the bonuses we get every week, and then that being like our like after we won 2 games, we were the 1700 boys, and then the week after that is what is it, 25-50, and just keep adding and adding and adding it. And we were trying to get to 8,500 in the week in in the regular season, but we fell a little bit short. So we're just adding that and gelling with the guys and like that, making light of a pretty funny situation that we've been fortunate to be on the right side of. So
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are calling yourself that when you're out with like the gamblers, going
yeah,
bowling, whatever, that's
and
it's more fun to call yourself that then.
it is funny because a couple of the gamblers, so we all stay in an apartment about 15 minutes away from the hotel, and a couple of them live literally in the building next to me. So after we won the first game, it's like, you stole my 850, I'm gonna get it back. And every time I would see him before that, I'd be like, yeah, I need that 850 back again. But as soon as we lost the game 2 weeks ago, uh, Reggie Northup came up to me, and we've been friends for a good amount of time, and said, I'm gonna need my 850 on Friday. And I was like, you know what? I've been talking shit to you all year. You got it, bro. I'm not even gonna say nothing.
Yeah, at that point, yeah, absolutely. And then last question, just from me,
Mm.
unless you have anything else you want to talk about. Obviously, they've had the United by Football sort of documentary thing going on during the entire season. How much presence has there been for that? Do you think that's been a distraction from the players at all, or not really?
I don't think it's been that much of a distraction because whereas they are giving you like the behind the scenes, it has been pretty discreet. Like it's not like cameras every single place. Like they notify you beforehand, hey, this is where we want you to be at. There's probably going to be some cameras here and things of that nature. So it hasn't been that distracting. Like it's not like as soon as you walk into the building, there's 20,000 cameras just waiting to hear every single conversation you're having. So it's been discreet, but giving you a like a inside look at it too. So I think that's been a good thing, to be honest.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. Anytime you get to look inside the locker room, inside a team, any type of professional team, I think it's eye-opening for a lot of people, and it's good that players, especially football players who are hidden behind a helmet all the
Mm,
time, they have personalities and they're human. So I
yeah,
think it's a good thing.
I think it is too. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Um, no, not really. You guys make sure you tune in at 8 Eastern to watch us play the New Orleans Breakers and hopefully get this berth into this championship game. It's going to be a good one, and that's about it.
Yeah, a lot of good players in that game. On NBC Saturday night, New Orleans Breakers, Birmingham Stallions. It's been two good games so far. For better or worse, Stallions are going to make it close and interesting, I think. So definitely watch it. It's going to be
Yeah,
good. It's going to be good football. I'm Zach Brunner. Jordan, again, thanks for doing the podcast all season long. And hopefully we have a few more weeks of this as you progress to the championship game.
hopefully so, man. Appreciate you having me on too.